Hey everybody, Nico Play Nick here. I'm here to talk to you guys about clearing the last stage in Dream Expedition. I know some of you guys may not be there yet, but I'll show you guys a team that I'm using at the moment. I'm actually using this team to auto all of Dream Expedition. So maybe it'll help you guys out for clearing stuff. You don't have to follow it 100%. There are variations you can do of it, and I'll talk about what you can do. But overall, I recommend you using. Oh, let's talk about the leaders first. I recommend you using Paladin or Sork early on. The first time you do it, you're maybe going to be around 20k or more power under the required amount. And having the damage resist with the Paladin or the invincibility with the Soul Reaper is going to be really nice and helpful to clearing that for the first time. So something to consider. Then if we go, let's talk about the team comp. The team comp I'll be using is pretty standard. I actually don't even have all the passives activated. I don't need the passives, all of them, to be activated for autoing at the moment. I used to have the 6th one, so like the only difference is I used to have this. Something like this, and overall my team was cheaper. I didn't have Kasumi, and I ran Saya. This was my old team comp that I beat it with. If you guys want to take note, this is maybe a little more free-to-play friendly for a lot of you guys because Kasumi and Jemmy are not in there. So, take note of that. It has pretty much everything you need. All the passes are activated, and I was able to beat this with it. But now I just use some of my other units, and it kind of does the same thing, and I can auto it really easily. This is really good for manual. Sorry, not her specifically, but just this whole comp is really solid, I think. It's actually the comp I cleared most of the content in the game with. So yeah, cool. So let's go Kasumi, then take out the Diana, and put in the Jemmy. Cool. So yeah, so pretty much you have the Vivian to help rush down some of these expensive units. Selena's there for the passive activation. We don't have the Maki passive activated, which is okay. My units do enough damage that I don't need her passive to be proccing off. But, if you want to, then do the comp that I showed you. Which is this. It doesn't have to be a Diana. It could be anything at 14 cost. You could, well, I mean, it kind of does in my case because I want the 6 classes to be active. But, you could put another unit if there was another 14 cost healer. You could put, like, on. If you don't want to use Diana, you could do something like that. Do the same thing. That'd perfectly be acceptable. And that's pretty free-to-play friendly. We have the Phoebe. We have the Rikia. We have the On. You could replace... If you don't have Nicola, I don't know what you could replace a Nicola with. You could replace a Nicola with a Yuffie. If you don't have one, that's an option. You need the Selena or the Camille just for that passive. If not, a few other options is you can put in a Pan in there. If you don't have Maki, replace Maki with Pan. Things like that. But then if you have Pan, then we don't care about our energy being 14 or less because we don't need to activate the Maki passive, right? So just little things. I know I'm going into a lot of depth on team building here. It's not really the point of the video, but just a little tips there. But I'm gonna go back, use the team comp that I'm using. Just makes it for me easy to auto with, and yeah. Attackers, Jemmy, Kasumi, take out this. Who the fuck was my last unit? Oh, Vivian, there we go. Yeah, so this is what I'm going to use for this battle. But you guys will kind of get the idea of how I play it. Nothing crazy. It's going to go a little fast. I'll try explaining it while I play, but it's going to go a little fast. So hopefully... I put the speed on normal as well, so we'll see if I can explain this fast enough. There's a little bit of reactionary stuff you have to do. Okay, so we didn't pick up the Vivian first, so we're going to put the Selena first. She's going to stay alive for a bit. There's no stress there. Okay, so she fills up her board really early, so this is when we want to drop an AoE. Once the board gets filled, it's like the perfect time to do it. And so as you're going to see, my Rika is going to just do work. Honestly, clear most of it down, which is nice. I'm not actually going to put that yet. I'm actually going to do this. Put in the Nicola in the background. Finish clearing. I'm going to save the cry. You're going to see for a little later. So... let's do this. You could have put Maki in the back. It really wouldn't have mattered, but where she is right now, I know she's going to die anyways. That's not her purpose, so... Okay, now she died. Perfect. I'm going to wait for that slot to open up. We'll put the Vivian down, and then we're going to put Karaya behind her. It's a really nice combo that works. This is my little cheese combo that I like to use. So you summon the Karaya really fast, and you start shielding your leader and the Vivian gets tankier because of the 50% damage boost. And you just keep shielding them, and they stay alive for long. Put down the... I saved the Miyuki towards the end. Because early on it's easy to manage with your first few units, but after that you want to keep the rage down to make sure your last few units can clear. It's going to be more apparent if your units are a little weaker compared to mine, but you want there to be less units on the board so you can actually keep using the special, so she keeps leaving the rage down so she's not spamming her ult anymore. Early it's hard to do that because there's too many units in the way. But now, as you can see, I don't have to summon anything and these two units will just win it. Like, there's no way she's getting through this anymore. There's no more units that are going to spawn, and it's GG. And if I spawn anything, it's just going to make it faster. Because I waited to put my Miyuki towards the end. So try and save it towards the end to do the last AoE. And yeah, and that's, I think, going to honestly save your ass. So yeah, that's how you beat it. Pretty simple. You know, think of ways to combo things. All in all, make sure you have a total of 3 AoE is a safe bet. I'd say for this last mission, I had 3. I only used 2. My Rikia was strong enough to board wipe because I'm higher level, but all in all, 3 AoE is a really safe bet for this. Make sure you have some decent single attackers to finish off as well, and save your Miyuki and use her towards the end as well. Don't use it as your first AoE. Use Rikia and Phoebe as your first two to clear the mobs. So yeah, that's how you beat it. I mean, that's what I did. Like I said, I showed you the original team comp I beat it with, but same concept. Rikia, Miyuki, and Phoebe were in there, and I did the same thing. I left Miyuki towards the end, and then I finished it off with, like, Maki single target or the Karaya single target. Like, that's exactly what I just did there. I just had some other different units, but the core of the units that I used are there, which is having 3 AoEs. Miyuki, which you guys all get for free. Rikia, which is pretty easy to get as a free-to-play player, and Phoebe is $1, so there's kind of like no reason. Most of you guys should have them unless you didn't spend the $1. Everybody has those units, and then after that, you flex where you can. If you can't get the Selena passive, I guess it's not the end of the world if you don't have Selena or Camille. If you don't have Kasumi, another option is Jemmy, or you can use Pan if you want more aggressive damage. If you want to use the Maki, make sure you average exactly 14 to maximize the Paladin passive and Maki's passive. But if not, you can replace it with Pan. Vivian, if you don't have Vivian, then maybe use something like Amon for rezzing. Could be an option. Little things like that. So yeah, little tip on how to beat that. So especially with something like Dream Expedition that has so much versatility in units and things you're going to face. Yeah, so that's what I did. Sork comp works as well. If you're going to run a Sork comp, you shouldn't have an issue. I think on that stage, it should be pretty simple. There's a lot of AoE that you need, and Sork comps do not struggle with that at all. I don't use Sork comps, but they are really, really busted and good, so you shouldn't have an issue with Sork comps. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.